Hey guys, welcome back to Quinian's Blender Crap. So, you might have noticed that this background reference image here, it has some sizes on it, and we didn't size anything, we just piled a bunch of stones together. So, how do we size those? Well, thankfully, Blender has a built-in measurement tool over here. I'm going to go straight on to the Y-axis here, click on the little measurement tool, and stretch it across. So, if you didn't know, Control in Blender is essentially the Snap to key. So if you click and hold one point of this, click and hold Control, it will start snapping to the different thing. You can see the control count going crazy, but it snaps to the different vertices. So you can do that, and let go of the click before you let go of Control, and it will snap to whatever. And now we have our measurement here. This is 19. I don't know, I think the single M means meter, but it's not, it's millimeters. If you bring this into Cura, it would take up 2 blocks, which is 2 millimeters. So I am aware that I can switch the measurements here over to inches, but I don't want to. It's easier to just do the conversion real quick over on Google. So the request is to have this 3 inches side to side, and that is going to be 76.2 millimeters. So all we got to do is drag this thing out. So also, if you go to measure something and you're like, man, that just seems entirely too big or small or whatever the case may be, you can always bring in a mini and make sure, that you're not gotten all crazy on your sizes. Let's bring in one of the ones I've made here. Yeah, okay, so that wall's real small, so this line actually does make sense. We'll just hide that guy, we'll keep him around for reference. So, what I want to do is just go ahead and scale this wall. So what I'm going to do is line up these ends here with some of the lines in the grid on Blender, so I have some idea of where I'm scaling to. And then we'll just scale this wall up. When you hit S to scale, the measurement line goes away, so you might have to keep checking. You could scale and start typing in numbers and make things happen, but that really doesn't ever work for me, so I prefer to just do it this way. Alright, so this section here is supposed to be 3/8 of an inch thick. It's 9.5, so it's obviously too thick. You have a couple choices. You could just grab these and squish them over if you want to. I don't really want to do it that way. You could cut the outer part of the wall off to make these thinner, but then you're going to make the whole thing thinner, and then you got to widen it again, and it turns into a vicious cycle. Just do a quick measure here. 9.5 is going to bring this over to the point that it's basically one row of bricks here. So I think what I'll do is just cut out this row of bricks. A real quick and easy way to do that is to go ahead and bring in something that you can use to cut with. I'm going to use a cube. It just needs to be bigger than your object you're cutting into. Okay, so now that we have our cutter piece here, what I want to do is select that first, select the wall second, and then I'm going to use the Boolean tool brush. You could also do that with Shift Control B, but if you hit N, it's on the Edit tab. I'm going to hit Difference and see what's going on. Absolutely nothing. So I can just grab this and scoot it around until I get the results I want. There we go. Now we'll go ahead and apply the brush. Now I can take this and reuse it on the other side. It doesn't look too bad with the way the stones are going to be cut there. As long as I put a capstone on the end, it'll make sense. And we go ahead and apply the brush. Alright, so now that's the right thickness side to side. So let's go ahead and get it scaled the other direction. So the thickness from front to back is 3/4 of an inch. So we'll just do the conversion on that and adjust this. What we're looking for is 19. So these stones kind of stick out randomly from each other. They're not, they're all offset on purpose because it looks pretty cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure that from the bottom. It helps when you're measuring this stuff to actually turn the camera because you can't really see what in the world is going on with this thing sometimes. So those are the 2 outermost points right there. And it's about half the thickness it needs to be. So we'll just go ahead and scale the whole thing, double the width. That's easy enough to do by going over to your thing here, one of these. There it is. And on the Y scale, we're just going to put in 2. There we go. Now it's 19 on the bottom stone. The other stones kind of vary, so whatever. 19 on the bottom. Alright. So now it is the appropriate size. So this edge here, and the other one over here actually, they got cut, so they need to be re-beveled so that they look nice going up across the top. But when you try to bevel stuff, you often get this weird double-faced thing happening. You could go real easy on the bevels to try and avoid that, but you still might run into issues. So one thing you can do to help prevent double faces, it won't stop it entirely, but it helps, is to click this little button here, which is Auto Merge Vertices. And highlight over it, you get a tooltip. So now, when you go to bevel, if you do get a little too far and vertices are touching, Blender will sort it out for you, which is real handy. So the last measurement here is the vertical height without the capstone. That's 2.5 inches or 63.5 millimeters. So go back into edit mode here so we can use the measurement tools. There are line measures everywhere. You can grab one end of it, pull it out somewhere, and delete it if you get tired of all these crazy random numbers everywhere. So same idea. Try to find the bottommost point, control snap it on there, find the matching one up top. There we go, 63.5447, whatever, good enough. So now all of our measurements are exactly what they should be. It's extremely fiddly to do it that way. There's probably a better way to do it, but that's what I've been doing and it works. Like I said, I know you can hit scale and start typing in numbers, but that doesn't seem to cooperate for me. So the last thing to do once you're done with all your scaling and all that good stuff, you want to make sure that your model stays in good order and doesn't get all screwy. You just go ahead and hit Control A and set all transforms. So now all this stuff zeroes out, and it is what it should be, so any more future Boolean operations or anything aren't going to get all messed up. So this section here, between this little flagstone, I should probably add a big flagstone, and the bottom, was not specified height there, but if you are in doubt, you can always just bust out a mini and compare that. About thigh-high wall seems right to me. It's going to have iron bars in it, so that makes sense. It looks a little tall compared to the mini, but this is an exterior wall to go around a cemetery, so it would be pretty big. But that's going to do it for how to set your size and scale. I know most people are probably going to resize stuff in their slicer anyway, but a lot of people don't want to mess with that, so if you get it sized right to begin with, that definitely helps. Of course, as always, thanks for watching everybody. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.